This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Interesting story with this one. I actually shot this video and then I decided to reshoot it. So we're not going to cover everything down there. There's an app that goes with it and a few other things. I wanted to show it off a little bit and just talk a little bit about it. It's more about the story at the end that I think make more sense than me trying to explain this game. So today we are going to be taking a look at Return to the Dark Tower and getting my thoughts on this this very unique game from the 80s. So let's go down to the table and check it out. Okay, so I'm not going to give you a full explanation on this. There is an app that you're going to be using with the tower, and the tower and it are going to interact. The app is really pretty much important because it keeps track of everything. Like I said, if you really want to learn this game, the best thing you could do is go see Rodney's video. I just can't top it, and you just got to be smart enough to know that you can't. My thing is more about the game itself. Okay, so you're going to play together, and as you can see, these areas are separate off, and this is going to be your kingdom for this particular player. There are 4 other kingdoms. If you are only playing one player, they are going to be pretty much dormant. Okay, so this thing, like back in the 80s, it spins, it spits out skulls and stuff like that, and you're going to lose the game a couple of ways. If you get 3 corruption, okay, that is going to finish you off. Or if you run out of skulls, if you put a bunch of these in here and they go into like the citadels or stuff like that, and you just have no more, that at the end of your turn you can deposit into the thing to mark the end of your turn. This what you're trying to do, of course, is beat an enemy. You're going to have a familiar with you, or a companion as they call it. You're going to be able to get certain types of gear and treasure. You're going to be able to go into dungeons because the app will tell you, hey, place a dungeon here, so forth and so on. You're going to have warriors, and oh god, I forgot what they call this, but this is pretty important because what it's going to do is going to help you pay for certain things like your virtues and things like that. Spirit, I'm sorry. See, whew, boy, that would have ruined this video. You're going to also be finding quest items and potions and have a chance to buy certain things at the market and stuff like that. But most of everything, the way it goes, you're going to start your turn, your banner, you're going to gain 5 warriors. Your warriors are going to help you with advantages. And when you fight, you're going to use the app, and you're going to say, if you land on this spot and you decide to fight these oryx, well, guess what? They're going to have a deck of cards, and you're going to pick 2 of them. See, as you can see, the 2 right there, which is going to determine that. Then you're going to pick the card, turn the card over, and turn each card over, and you're going to have to whittle them down in order to get this removed off the thing. If you can't, well, that's not going to be very good. You are going to need warriors, and you are going to need spirit to defeat these things, as well as cards that will give you certain types of advantages. Spend to gain more warriors. That may help you on certain things. There are other things that are going to give you advantages, because there's a bunch of different types of advantages. And depending on what you're facing, as far as creatures and things like that, they all have a different type of requirement that you're going to need. Like, for instance, here, magic and beast advantages are what's going to help you against the spinal fiend. Okay, and as you can see, what's going to happen, what's going to happen when you battle, and there's certain events. Spinal fiend will make you lose warriors. Well, we don't want to face that one, right? You're going to keep going until you have to go, like in the very first adventure, you're going to have to go to the Upper Fangs, and you're going to have a certain amount of treasure with the wizard's name on it, as well as have a certain amount of at least 5 virtues turned over. You can pay for these during your reinforcement phase. Now, the middle of your turn, you can do 3 things. You can cleanse. You want to cleanse these off and bring these back. Remember, if you lose all these, okay, and you have no more that you can put into the tower, or anytime that it calls for a skull and you cannot retrieve one, you're going to lose the game. So it's 3 corruption, or you're not going to have any skulls. You're going to battle. You're going to be using the app, okay? And after, you're going to gain a certain amount of spirit. Completing a quest will give you a certain amount of spirit. The app will show you what quest that you're going to go. You're going to be moving around. For instance, he can move 3. I can spend the spirit to move double my movement, okay, if I really got to get someplace in a hurry. All right. But you're also going to have this reinforced phase, okay? On the space, if you are on a space, particularly with a building here, okay, for instance, this is the Citadel, you would get a free potion, or you can pay 5 spirit and gain 1 virtue. Well, that's good. If you could pay the 5 spirit, then you only need 1 more to complete half the quest that you need to do. All right. This thing here, at first, I reshot this video, okay, and I'm actually using a different camera because it was just kind of hard to shoot to begin with. But it does a lot of different things, but it feels very 80s to me. And I'll explain more up top when I talk about this, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll understand why I reshot this video. But this thing whirls, it spits out skulls. If it spits out skulls in a certain area, if you're putting them in here and it spits it out someplace, you're going to have to put them on here on one of these buildings. If ever you have 4, the entire building is going to be removed, okay? That is not going to help you here, especially in your kingdom. You really don't want that to happen because it really becomes a negative for you, okay? There are different glyphs that are going to show up that are going to help you. You're going to open certain doors, and skulls that may be a tribute that don't fall out when you first drop them out will fall out. There's a lot of little things going on, and I'm going to talk more about this up top. I just wanted to kind of give you a brief overview. You have what they call is 6 months. At the end of the 6th month, if you have not defeated the main villain, you're going to lose the game as well. So you have a time limit. There's different things that are going to be thrown at you. You're going to have to do side quests to get certain things. And it's a very interesting game. So let's go up top and talk a bit more about Return to the Dark Tower, and I'll tell you where I was at and why I had to reshoot this. So let's talk about this game, okay? Return to Dark Tower. For me, it felt very 80s, and it was the first time in a long time that I kind of got the snobby gamer complex. The reason being was that here in 2024, there are just so many more things that are so much better than this very old, antiquated game. Okay, I never played the original, and to me, the tower seemed like a gimmick at first. And, I shot the original video, and I was kind of like, oh, what the heck with this? And then I made another video about nostalgia, how we remember things better than what they truly are. Okay, better time and all that stuff. Like, I remember 1,000 comic books that I thought were the greatest thing I ever read, and then I would go back and reread them, and I go, well, things change in time. We remember things better. And I thought that's what kind of happened with this. So much that I shot a video, and it wasn't very complimentary. But something just clicked in me, and I went, maybe I'm overthinking this too much. So I got my granddaughter, okay? I've been promising to do something with her because she goes, Pop, I wanna do something. I want to play a game with you. So I picked her up and I said, something, why don't I do this? All the bells and whistles might be attractive to her. And then I also felt it was kind of app heavy, which is funny because it kind of plays into a more modern thing, but it takes away from the board game experience. And that was my problem with Dark Tower, was that the tower was more of a gimmick and the gameplay was okay at best. Well, I brought her out here and then we started playing and we had the best time. She was so sucked into everything that was going on, waiting for the tower to spit out some skulls or show a glyph or the app to tell us what to do next. And yeah, granted, she's almost 6, but that's what this was made for. Not a 6-year-old, but someone that doesn't play games all the time or is very nostalgic and wants to have something because, I remember when I went to Dice Tower a couple of years ago and they had the original one there and people were offering all kinds of money, anywhere from $300 to $400. And they were buying nostalgia. And I was going, what's the big fascination with this game? And even when this came out last year, I didn't get a chance to get it because it sold out so quickly. And I'm going, what's the fact? I go, it's almost $200. So finally it restocked at Miniature Market. And I went, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring this in. I've been curious about this. What's the big deal? And I paid $200 and I went, there's not a lot here for $200. And I think that's the numbness of playing so many of these more complex games and things like that and not accepting this for what it is. Fun. We had a great time with this. And we're going to be playing again tonight, a matter of fact. She wants to play again. I go, okay. You like this? This is something that you're having a lot of fun with? Okay. And I realized that I'm an idiot. I'm just an old fool. Maybe, I've been playing so many games that sometimes less is more. And yeah, the tower's gimmicky. Who cares? It made it fun. It made it fun to watch her face and have a great time. And while this is not a game that, that I think I'm going to run out and buy all the expansions and everything like that, even though I have the Horde expansion that I'm going to be painting for restoration games because I wanted to wait until I got the game and all the art so I could see what happened, and I got that last year from them, but the game wasn't available. And I just think for me, this is something that hit my granddaughter and it made it more fun for me, and it made me open my eyes for once and go, something, this is fun. What am I doing? It doesn't have to be this elaborate story. It doesn't have to be all this stuff. Now, when we went down to the table, I didn't show you, the app and turn the thing on and stuff like that. I wanted you to get the feel for the game. The game at a core is decent and it's good. That tower and the app really drive this game. And it made it easier for her to understand. And I just didn't get it. I don't know how many times I can say that. And I'm glad I reshot this. So you're seeing the reshot version. I'm not going to play that other one's going in the burner. But sometimes experiencing it with someone a little more naive and not being such a gamer, and just taking games for what they basically are, fun, why don't you just do it and have fun? And I think I learned an important lesson here today more than anything else. So, yeah, if you can get your hands on this, I would. I think you'll have a great time, especially if you got grandkids or kids, or you know, you had this game originally back in the 80s and you want some nostalgia. This technology really works and is a lot of fun, and sometimes you just don't have to hold your nose up all the time, and just play a game to play a game. There you go. All right, that is Return to Dark Tower. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. Even an old dog can learn a new trick every once in a while. We'll see you soon, everybody.